Alright, buckle up, animal lovers and law-abiding citizens. Ever thought your pet was getting away with too much? Well, in some parts of the United States, lawmakers have gone to extreme, and often hilarious, lengths to regulate our furry, scaly, and feathery friends. Forget the usual leash laws, we're talking about rules so bizarre, so specific, they'll make you wonder what even happened to get them on the books. We've scoured the depths of America's legal system to bring you 30 of the absolute wildest animal laws you won't believe are real. Let's dive in. First up, let's head down south to Alabama. Now, it's illegal to drive blindfolded there. Which, makes sense for humans. But the wording of the law is so broad, it technically applies to animals too. So, if you were planning on taking your pet pig for a spin with a blindfold on, think again. I mean, who was the first person to try this? Was it a dog, a cat, maybe a very ambitious chicken? The mind boggles at the backstory here. Just picturing an animal trying to navigate traffic is hilarious and terrifying all at once. Speaking of strange rules, let's hop over to Delaware. Here, you cannot walk your dog on a leash within 50 feet of a hot dog stand. I repeat, 50 feet. Is it to prevent canine hot dog larceny? To spare the dogs the agony of temptation? Or perhaps to protect the innocent hot dogs from judgmental glances? This law screams one too many incidents involving Fido and a dropped Frankfurter. It's like a canine exclusion zone around the aroma of delicious grilled meats. Good luck explaining that to your hungry pup. Alright, get ready for a truly classic bizarre law. In California, female burros are not allowed to sleep in bathtubs. Yes, you heard that right. Not male burros, just female ones. And only sleeping, apparently. Because a wide-awake burro taking a bath is totally fine? And it gets better. In Georgia, if you own a donkey, you may not allow it to sleep in a bathtub. So the bathtub situation is a real problem for our equine friends across multiple states. Who is putting these animals in bathtubs? And why is it always the bathtub? And just when you thought the bathtub saga was over, we trot on over to South Carolina. Because there, it is illegal to keep a horse in a bathtub. So, we've got burros, donkeys, and now horses all explicitly banned from getting their beauty sleep in your porcelain tub. At this point, I'm starting to think bathtubs are some kind of secret animal magnet in the US. Was there a rash of bathtub horse incidents? A competitive animal bathing ring? This is less about animal welfare and more about, what exactly are people doing with their large animals? Alright, let's talk about responsible pet ownership, or, well, the lack thereof that inspired these laws. In Illinois, it is illegal to give a dog whiskey. And not to be outdone, Massachusetts makes it illegal to give a dog an alcoholic beverage. It seems some folks might have been a little too generous with their furry companions during happy hour. Like, who needed a law to tell them this? Hey, Fido, want a shot? This isn't a frat party, people. Our pups are too good for that cheap stuff anyway. Water and a treat, please. And the alcohol theme continues. In Ohio, it is illegal to get a fish drunk. Honestly, I have so many questions. How would one even attempt to get a fish drunk? A tiny shot glass underwater? A fish-friendly pub? This sounds like something out of a cartoon. And then in New Jersey, it's illegal to offer a cigarette to an animal. Look, I get it, secondhand smoke is bad for everyone, including pets. But the idea that this had to be legislated just blows my mind. What kind of party animals were they dealing with? Here's one that makes you question geography itself. In Kansas, it is illegal to hunt whales. Now, call me crazy, but last I checked, Kansas is landlocked. Pretty far from any ocean, actually. Unless there's a secret, land-swimming whale species I don't know about, or perhaps a rogue whale decided to take a very long road trip, this law seems a tad unnecessary. Maybe it's a preventative measure, just in case. Or perhaps a very forward-thinking legislator protecting future Kansas whale migration routes. You never know. And speaking of strange hunting laws, let's swing over to Arizona. In this desert state, it is illegal to hunt camels. Now, unlike whales in Kansas, camels have historically been in Arizona, brought over in the 1800s for military transport, actually. So, there's a reason for this law, even if it sounds wild now. But still, the image of someone trying to hunt a camel in the scorching Arizona desert? That's quite the mental picture. Maybe they were just trying to prevent a spaghetti western gone wrong. Next up, our porcine pals. In California, pigs cannot be kept in a city, unless they are for educational purposes like in a pigsty at a fair. So, urban pig farming is out, but learning about pigs is in. Makes sense. But then in Michigan, a pig with a ring in its nose cannot be kept in a city. Not any pig, just the ones with nose rings. What did those poor, ring-nosed pigs do to deserve such a specific ban? Is it about preventing rooting? Or is it a fashion statement too far for city limits? The plot thickens. And the pig laws continue to get stranger. In Minnesota, it is illegal to sleep with a pig. Seriously, who is doing this? Is this a no-co sleeping with livestock rule? Or a very specific, pig-related interpretation of don't bring your farm animals into your bed? I can't imagine this was a widespread problem. Like, was there a town meeting where someone said, look, we need to address the pig-in-bed situation once and for all? It's the kind of law that makes you wonder about the pre-law era. From sleepy pigs to chaperone sheep. In the city of Whitehall, Montana, it is illegal to drive a sheep in the cab of your truck without a chaperone. Yes, your sheep needs a wingman. Is it to prevent the sheep from distracting the driver? Or maybe to ensure the sheep doesn't try to hotwire the truck? I picture a stern-looking chaperone sitting between a farmer and his sheep, making sure no funny business goes on. It's truly a law that defines small-town charm and very specific local incidents. Florida, oh Florida, you never disappoint. It is illegal to tie an alligator to a fire hydrant. I mean, where do we even begin? The casual implication that someone would tie an alligator to a fire hydrant is astounding. Was it a prank gone wrong? A very aggressive way to save a parking spot? Don't park here, unless you want to mess with my gator. This law just conjures up the most wonderfully absurd mental image. Only in Florida, folks, only in Florida. Staying in the Sunshine State, it's also illegal in Florida to sell your neighbor's chicken. This one actually makes a lot of sense. It's basically don't steal your neighbor's poultry and then profit from it. But the specificity of chicken is what gets me. Not livestock, not property, but specifically chicken. Perhaps it was an epidemic of chicken thievery back in the day? Or maybe chickens are just particularly easy to accidentally rehome for a quick buck. Keep an eye on your flock, Florida. Elephants are next on our list of legislative targets. In Florida, no elephant riding on a public street. Because apparently, parades and circuses are one thing, but a casual commute via pachyderm? No sir. Then, over in North Carolina, elephants may not be used to plow cotton fields. I mean, I'm all for innovative farming, but an elephant plow seems inefficient? Or maybe it's too efficient. This feels like a law born from a very specific, probably hilarious, incident involving an elephant, a street, or a field. The mental images are fantastic. Sticking with large, exotic animals, let's zoom up to New York. In the city of Yonkers, it is illegal to lead a camel down the street. Again, the sheer specificity. Not large animal, but camel. And not ride or drive, but lead. Was there a popular camel walking trend in Yonkers that got out of hand? Did someone try to walk their pet camel only to cause chaos? This law just screams local problem that needed an immediate, very direct solution. A camel-led parade is a big no-no, apparently. Time for a splash of color. In Kentucky, it is illegal to dye ducklings blue. Blue, specifically. Not pink, not green, but blue. Is this an anti-fashion statement for poultry? A prohibition against making smuffed ducks? Or maybe blue dye is particularly harmful to ducklings? This law suggests a specific, blue duckling-related problem that became so prevalent, it required legislative action. Who knew duckling fashion could be such a hot topic in Kentucky? I'm picturing a whole underground ring of duckling dyers. Moving on to bureaucracy for beasts. In Iowa, animals are not allowed to cross state lines without proper identification. Now, this makes sense for livestock and pets to prevent disease or theft. But the image of a squirrel flashing its tiny ID card at the state border patrol is just hilarious. Or a flock of birds presenting their passports. What about wild animals? Do they just get deported back to their original state? This law is logical on paper, but wildly funny when you imagine its full implications. Now for a law that seems surprisingly necessary. In Texas, it is illegal to milk another person's cow. Like, really? This needed a law? Was there a history of rogue milk bandits roaming the Texas plains, stealthily milking unsuspecting cows? Excuse me, is this your cow? Mind if I just borrow some milk? This isn't a communal dairy farm, folks. This is someone's livelihood. It's a classic case of a law clarifying something that should probably be common sense, but clearly wasn't for everyone. Let's talk about noise complaints, specifically in Little Rock, Arkansas. In this charming city, dog barking after 6 p.m. is illegal. 6 p.m. That's practically prime time for dog zoom eyes and excited barks. Does Fido get a curfew? Is there a canine quiet hour? I can just imagine the neighbors looking at their watches, waiting for 6:01 p.m. to call the authorities on a particularly vocal pup. This law turns everyday dog behavior into a potential legal issue. Good luck enforcing that one. In Connecticut, there's a serious law about dog training: no training dogs to be attack dogs, with exceptions for police dogs. This one actually makes a lot of sense from a safety perspective. We definitely don't want a bunch of privately trained attack dogs running around. But the phrasing always makes you wonder about the exceptions. So, it's cool if it's a K9 unit, but if my Chihuahua wants to learn some impressive takedowns, that's a no-go? It's a pragmatic law, but still funny in its implication for the average pet owner. Alright, this one is just gold. In Oklahoma, it is illegal to make ugly faces at a dog. What? Did someone make such a spectacularly ugly face at a dog that it traumatized the poor canine, leading to legislative action? Or is this about protecting dogs' delicate sensibilities? I'm picturing a lineup where a dog has to identify the perpetrator of an ugly face. What constitutes ugly anyway? This law is pure comedic genius, probably unintentional. Dogs deserve respect, but this is a whole new level. And on a similar note, in Maryland, no abusive language towards animals. Now, I think most pet owners would agree with the sentiment: be kind to your pets. But to make it a law? Does this mean I can get fined for telling my cat, "You are the most annoying creature on the planet," when it wakes me up at 3 a.m.? The idea of a legal system policing our conversations with our pets is both heartwarming and slightly terrifying. Let's just all agree to keep it G-rated around our animal companions. This next one might be the most specific and baffling law yet. In North Dakota, it is illegal to sleep with your shoes on if you own cows. Yes, you heard that right, shoes and cows. Not just sleeping with shoes on, but specifically if you own cows. Is there a secret cow-related shoe ritual I'm unaware of? Do the cows get offended? Does it affect milk production? I honestly have no idea what the connection is here. It's like a riddle wrapped in an enigma, with a cow print blanket. Let's dip into fishing laws. In Pennsylvania, it is illegal to fish with your hands. Now, for many types of fish, that's just good luck trying. But for things like catfish or trout in shallow streams, noodling or hand fishing is a real, albeit rustic, technique. So this law specifically bans that. Is it to prevent overfishing? Or is it considered too unsporting? It's another example of how very specific activities with animals, even fish, can end up on the statute books. Get a rod, Pennsylvania. Finally, let's talk about Sunday. In Virginia, no hunting on Sunday except for raccoons, until 2 a.m., and possums. So, you can hunt some critters, but only very specific ones, and one of them has a strict curfew. Raccoons, you get a few extra hours, but after 2 a.m. on Sunday, you're safe. This is such a precise and almost polite form of hunting regulation. It's like, okay, folks, take your coons home by 2 a.m., then it's rest day for everyone else. Who comes up with these schedules? Bringing it back to where we started, Alabama has another important one: any person who mutilates a bird or animal in any way is subject to a fine of not less than $50. While the other laws were funny in their specificity, this one is a serious and necessary protection. It reminds us that behind all the bizarre rules, there's a real need to protect animals from harm. And while $50 might not sound like a lot today, it was likely a significant deterrent when enacted. Let's hear it for animal welfare, no matter how weird the other laws get. And there you have it, folks. 30 bizarre, head-scratching, and sometimes hilariously specific animal laws from across the United States. From burrows in bathtubs to no ugly faces at dogs, our legal system clearly has a rich, strange history with the animal kingdom. These aren't just quirky facts, they're tiny windows into the past, telling stories of local incidents and legislative creativity. Which one was your favorite? Or which one makes you want to pack up your nose ring pig and move to a less restrictive state? Let us know in the comments.